What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode 4 today of the career mode. And in this one, we're going to be watching another 4 games we played with our Hamburg side. Also, the first game came in the DFB pokal, I should say. And I really wasn't bothered about it. So I decided to sim it. Our main focus, as you know, is on the league, making sure we avoid relegation whilst achieving a respectable league position. So I didn't feel that we needed to really put our eggs into the Deutsche Pokal basket. And so decided to sim it. We ended up losing the game. So yeah, out of it already. But as I mentioned, that'll come later in the series. You know, I'm not really bothered right now about how we're performing in the cups because our main focus needs to be on the Bundesliga itself. So that is pretty much where my priorities lie. So going into the first game then, Hertha Berlin, the opponents. This was quite interesting because, as you know, they were the other team that we could have picked in order to play as on this series. And for people that maybe weren't around when I did this type of series in FIFA 17, the career mode series, I used to do it as post commentaries and then save live commentaries for like the important games, cup finals, big league games that matter. I think that's the way we're probably going to do this series, except there will be games in future that I do decide to do live comms for in just, you know, random episodes where I'm feeling like it. In terms of face cam, not sure when that will be, if it'll be on this series or not, because of the fact that A, right now in the UK, it is pretty warm, so yeah, pretty much every day I'm sweating anyways. I don't want to have to be on a face cam to do that. And B, it just kind of gets rid of the authenticity of my my series that I used to do back in the day. But nevertheless, jumping into the highlights then, Hertha Berlin, as I said, the opponents, they went the closest in the first half. Really nearly finding the top corner, apart from the fact it went over the top of the crossbar. Big Andy still yet to find a goal in Hamburg colours. Went close there as well, but couldn't actually do it. And then, right before the halftime whistle came into play, we tried a short free kick technique, mainly because we had no choice in the matter. I wasn't going to shoot from that distance, and it actually worked out wonders as we found a way towards the left-hand side, and then Halilovic played the ball across for Bobby Wood to put us 1-0 in front against Hertha Berlin. And the interesting thing about this was that it was kind of against a run of play, because the first half we hadn't started off brilliantly by any means. So to even score from a free kick from that distance, I know it's not directly from the free kick, we passed it around, but to even get a chance and create it and score it from that, it was really well crafted, and I was quite proud of scoring from the end of that one. And Bobby Wood, I've got to say this, in terms of this game, he was causing no ends of problems for this Berlin back line. He got through again, and it was a good save that denied him a second goal for us. And we grew into the second half a lot better than we ended off the first. Lewis Holtby, really lucky pass, finding its way to Bobby Wood. He found Andy. Andy back to Holtby. Gave it to big Andy Carroll. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. Andy Carroll has scored a goal for Hamburg. Yeah, that's it. The world's coming to an end. You've heard it here first. I never expected big Andy Carroll's first goal for the club would be with his feet. Let alone that, his weaker right foot. Everything that we tried with Andy Carroll, he's obviously got, he's 6'4", right? So immediately you look at him and think, aerial threat, couldn't score a goal from crosses or corners. He's left-footed by trade. We've tried to shoot on his left foot. Keeper saved it. Unbelievably, his first goal for the club has finally come, and it's on his right foot. But enough about that, because we went 3-0 up pretty much not too long after that, when another nice worked cross from the left-hand side found Bobby Wood again in a similar position to what he opened up the scoring for the first goal, and he slotted home for his second of the afternoon. So he would have been on a hat-trick here if the keeper hadn't made that save moments before. Again, though, there was a little touch that I felt the Berlin defender should have cleared his lines before the ball actually went through. And before the full-time whistle went, ARP came off the bench to set up Kostic to make it Hertha Berlin 0, Hamburg 4. And that is our biggest win of the series so far. There was 35 seconds left to play, so there was no chance that we were going to concede or score another one. But a 4-0 win here against Hertha Berlin is certainly a great result. It shows that we're about ourselves. I mentioned in the last episode we need new strikers because we can't put the ball in the back of the net. Well, maybe I'm wrong, because today, on that occasion, we scored 4. And not only that, Andy Carroll got 1 and Bobby Wood got 2. So the world really is coming to an end, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you are prepared for that one. With Andy Carroll bringing in his first goal, who knows? Maybe he's going to hit 30 goals this season. However unlikely that may be. But we've got a couple of youth academy prospects to look forward to. One of them is this guy, Robin Manole. I don't know if I've said that right. I'm going to refer to him when we get him in the side as Robin. And if we can find a Batman, that would be fantastic. Hopefully in the long term, we'll find a player that's got Bat in his name, and we can refer to him as Robin and Batman. But, you know, until then, It's Robin. He's only 15 though, isn't ready to come in, the Romanian, and when he does hit 16, I will be promoting him. He's 63 rated already at the age of 15, so bright future ahead of him. Into game 2 though, Stuttgart, our opponents. This is quite an interesting side, of course. World Cup winner Benjamin Pavard in the team at centre-back. Germany legend in the form of Gomez. So they've got some decent players, but Lewis Holtby decided, listen, I don't care who's on that side. I'm going to run the show here today. Captain Fantastic put us 1-0 in front. We got a little bit lucky, but it was great skill from Lewis Holtby as he actually wrong-footed the man Benjamin Pavard. You'll see him with the throw there. Goes that side. Holtby says, see you later, mate. I'm going the other way. And with the right foot, puts it in the bottom corner. And Hamburg take the lead. So maybe, just maybe, that 4-0 win against Berlin has got the confidence flowing through the veins of the boys here. And we might be on to bigger and better things from this one. Second half began pretty much how the first half ended. Us on top looking to find a way to find the second goal, but then we gave the ball away. And Asako was laid through by Gomez, and he picked his spot with an absolute thunderbolt into the bottom corner. I don't think even one of the better world goalkeepers would have saved this, because it was a sensational effort from him, the number 9, and there wasn't really a lot my keeper could have done against it. And as I said, this Stuttgart team is actually pretty decent. Susaeta's in there as well. A few really, solid players and players that can put themselves about and cause problems. And Osaka was the man to bring it back to level terms. As I said, thunderbolt, and it puts us back to square one. And now we need to attack again to try and get back in front. I mean, seeing it from that angle as well just makes it even better. Right in the bottom corner. There wasn't really a lot that you could do against it. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, even with that, when you've got big Andy Carroll on your team, you know you're in for a great game. Torreira finding him. He laid it through to Lewis Holtby, who on the left foot this time puts Hamburg back in front, and he dabs. Not proud of that, guys. I'm not going to lie. That's the least proud I've been during this series. But Captain Fantastic, 2 goals now for him on the day. But you've got to say, big Andy Carroll is the reason that one worked out, laying the ball through. Cheers for that, my man. And we go through in order to put the ball in and make it 2-1. With 11 minutes to go, Stuttgart looking for a way into the game. Left themselves very open. Halalovic, I felt, should have squared this. But then again, Andy didn't really give him the sort of, angle in order to be able to square it. And so it was a little bit of a problem. But luckily, the 2 goals from Holtby was enough. And we were able to pick up the 2-1 lead in the game and win it. So there we go. Massive 3 points. That takes us now on to 2 wins out of 2 for the opening games of today's episode. So all things considered, it's going very well indeed. And Andy Carroll's certainly having much more of an impact today than he has done in the previous ones. As I said, are we looking at potentially 30 goals this season for him? I'm not sure that's going to be the case. But I will say this, ladies and gentlemen. If Andy Carroll does hit 30 league goals this season, I will buy an Andy Carroll England shirt. And yeah, I don't want to have to do that. So if he hits that, I'll buy one. And it'd be pretty funny if he does it now, doesn't it? But that's got to be 30 league goals, by the way. 30 league goals. We've got probably 20 or so games to go, so they'd have to average 1.5 goals a game. I don't think that's possible, but that's my bet anyways. If he gets 30, I'll buy an England shirt with Andy Carroll on the back. Schalke, though, one of the next opponents we would face. This was tough. This was really, really tough. And they came out flying from the blocks early on. 2 chances in the first 15 minutes. Brilem Bolo causing me no ends of problems, and they should have taken the lead here. Leon Goretzka sliding in at the back post, hit the woodwork from inches away. And as I said, we just had to really dig deep and get past the first half of play. But then with 15 minutes to go, Schalke fancied their chances getting the victory. Left themselves a little bit open, and Bobby Wood should have put us in front. But with the striking situation at the club, we do need new strikers. I said it last episode. Then after the first game, I was like, nah, we don't. We hit 4 here. But that finish there from Bobby Wood clearly showed me that we do, in fact, need better finishers at the club. All in all, though, match facts-wise, we actually managed to create more opportunities than our opponents. But in terms of clear-cut opportunities, Schalke were definitely the better of the 2 sides. And as I said, we were lucky to not even be 1-0 down after the first 15 minutes. That chance from Goretzka should have gone in the back of the net. So had to count our blessings there and say that that point was a fair result and a good result at that. So 2 wins and a single point thus far. The last game against Hoffenheim is upon us. We didn't learn from our Schalke game, though, because we started off again the worst team inside the opening few minutes. The first shot parried away by our goalkeeper. The resulting corner whipped in dangerously. 1 in the box as well again. And another save from our goalkeeper was required. And it just didn't really get any better for us, because as we finally got an attack up the other end, this happened inside 15 minutes. Really poor first touch, but he squeezed it back to Serge Gnabry, who does me there with the first one. I couldn't get him off the ball in the second, and that finish is just incredible. Of course, he's on loan, so he doesn't actually play for Hoffenheim because he's actually at Bayern Munich. But to be on loan from Bayern Munich at Hoffenheim, he certainly gives them something extra. And that just showed you. With a finish there wasn't a lot my goalkeeper could have done. He saved a couple of chances early on, saving us in the game. I tried to do a last-ditch slide tackle. Just didn't work out. And Serge Gnabry put Hoffenheim 1-0 in front. And they continue to pile on the pressure. This one was a brilliant move. And I had to hold my hands up and just say, listen, I'm getting pretty much taught a lesson here. As they get like a passing play for about 5 or 6 passes. And they put it in the back of the net. Like, as I said, I just had to hold my hands up and say, I'm getting taught a lesson. Need to regroup and kind of just take my time with things. So, half-time whistle went. I knew I had to change something, so I swapped to a 4-2-4, which is basically a 4-4-2, apart from the fact that your wingers are pressed certainly more high up the field. And I made 2 changes. Or 3 changes, was it? No, 2. We brought on Halilovic and we brought on ARP as well. So, the young 17-year-old on, alongside the Croatian playmaker, to try and change the game. And the change worked wonders. Literally 2 minutes after the break, we were able to create a chance. Holtby's shot, saved by Bowman, but it fell back to ARP, who was able to finish it from the tight angle and put it in the empty net to bring us back into the game, making it 2-1 and making a few Hoffenheim fans in the crowd very, very nervous indeed. But I am taking some credit for it as well because the change certainly did work, and that is a great finish from ARP. A very difficult, tight angle. And with that change, we were looking to try and find the second. Obviously, going 2-0 down wasn't ideal, but we had nothing to lose at this point, so attacking it was, and pretty much we got another chance. ARP again. Oh, man. When this went in, I had to hold my hands up and say, this kid is going to be special. He burst through the middle. Sakai deserves major plaudits for the ball through. And he points to the back of his shirt, does ARP, as if to say, look at me now, remember the name. Because when he gets in here, there's a lot of work to do. The first touch wasn't brilliant. As I said, the ball through from Sakai. Look at that. Little one round the defender. First touch not fantastic. Then it goes through the other defender's legs. I think it might have taken a deflection on the way through as well. And that's the reason why it actually beats the goalkeeper. Because it might have been a save from him. But still, you can't take anything away from the young 17-year-old who has just come off the bench to rescue us in the game by grabbing 2 goals for himself. Hoffenheim 2, Hamburg 2, in a game where we were 2-0 down, getting taught a lesson in the first half. As I said, we had to dig deep and just find something to get out of the game. And I'm so glad to say that we didn't lose it. We were able to pick up the draw. 2 wins, 2 draws, unbeaten in today's episode. Very, very happy with those results. It's a great little thing to build upon, and we can hopefully continue it in the next episode. As I said, though, guys, I'm not sure if I'll do the next one live or not. I'll see what kind of games are coming up. I think we've got quite a few important games as well, potentially in January, which is right around the corner. So I might be doing a live episode next time out. But if you enjoyed this one, I would greatly appreciate it. As always, thank you so much for all your support on the channel. Really appreciate it, guys. You can see your league table before it pops up. I just want to say as well, make sure you guys are staying hydrated in the heat because it can be very, very dangerous. But that's it from me for today. I'll see you all again tomorrow at 4 PM for yet another video. Catch you all then, guys. Adios.